Hey! Okay. I'm like waiting for things to pop in. And I'm seeing people already here. How's it going, everybody? All right. Doing pretty good. Okay, continue. Still messing with my monitor computer, which refuses to load the Twitch, but since you guys are here, I guess it's fine. Okay. So I have a few things to do, a couple of loose ends to pick up, a couple of maxed out runes to pick up too, and Hintertomb, maybe? Okay, so just dump those. This is my Ihyll. This is my Chalice glyph. That's my FRC. First, let's see if the Lost Boy of Antiquity will drop me a couple of nourishing runes. I figured people can just, you know, ask some questions, just chat. I've only got Gehrman and Moon Presence to go, but if you just wanted to chat, ask a question of like Demon Souls or any of the Souls or any of the Kingsfield-like games, whatever. I call them Kingsfield-like games because that's where they all stem from. I really want to play Kingsfield. At least 4. I need to go on a hunt and find a disc so I can emulate it. First though, I gotta see if the emulator is gonna even work on my computer. There should. There he is. So this guy can drop some nourishing gems, but he kind of requires a bit of like farming and stuff. It's down here. You kind of get used to your halved health eventually. What the heck is making that noise anyway? I don't come down here that often. For the most part, I just kill the chalice and restart it. So, yeah, Tangerine, don't worry about it. We just got sidetracked and talking about candy in Discord. What is that sound? I want to know. What is going on in this layer? This is kind of a waste because I'm probably going to burn the chalice anyway. Gimme. Still wonder. Mold. So much mold down here. Let me give that lost boy of antiquity another go. So yeah, I need to start writing my next essay. Should have started yesterday, but I got sidetracked. No? Probably be better off if I had an eye rune on, but yeah. Let's go to the party cave in the DLC. Get rid of these loose ends. Just cleaning up some things. Go kill the shark roots. Nightmare Church. Corpse pile. But the gist of the essay is pretty much going to talk about the first and the last flames. And the last flame, I think I'm going to argue, is humanity in and of itself. Because cold can burn just as much as heat can. I think my dog is being silly. Party cave is the other way. completely over level. Hello, girls. Ladies, excuse me, please. Oh, wrong way. Hey, Loki. Loki, why'd you run away? You like ran in here and then ran out again. Jeepers. So this guy's pretty cool. He's actually pretty much a huge challenge. Dang it. The fact that you can poise through the transform attack with the Moonlight Greatsword is kind of nuts, because you can't poise through it with the LHB. So there's a wild bloodletting beast down here, which is kind of interesting to note in any case. So one has to wonder what bloodletting beast has to do with, like, Ludwig. Because this is mostly Ludwig's nightmare. There he is. Bloodstarved beast. So much blood. Hey Phoenix, what's going on? Warm damp blood gem. And the Magdalene arm, which I've never been a big fan of big club weapons, but this one's a pretty interesting one anyway. Whatever it is dead. Skybox is so weird without the shattered sun in the sky. Next thing I need to do is kill some shark brutes. I do wish you could just warp between bonfires or lamps, like in Dark Souls 3 and 2 in Bloodborne, instead of having to like load screen 4 times. Fishing hamlet. I'll do this one. Everybody excited for E3? The sales have already begun. I might pick up a DS4, a new one, because apparently they're going to be like $40 this week. That is the wrong joke. Hey, Xander. Pebbles. Why is she carrying around pebbles? No, I want my... I haven't really seen anything that interesting with this year's E3. The E3 sales have begun, which is more exciting than probably anything. Extra 10 damage. People keep speculating that FromSoft is going to make a showing. Big news about like Sony not really caring about backwards compatibility. Jeez. Shouldn't your friend be jumping now? There it is. His friend is down. The other way to deal with this is to get some Shaman Bone Blades and like wait. Yeah, they definitely do. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's on top of Japan not really caring about preservation that much. There's lots of like different little examples about that. But the PS3 architecture is very difficult. Yeah. I mentioned this earlier in the Slack I have for something else, but like things people don't know is that the PS3 architecture is like completely different from the PS4 architecture. So like all of the PS1 ports have to be kind of reported to work on PS4. Yeah, it's a loose end. Like, I don't need this weapon at all. And this build can't run it, but... yeah. Well, they are, kind of, but there's legal issues to deal with that. Like, I mentioned this on, I commented on DMod's video, because DMod put up a video about, like, what he didn't like of Demon's Souls, and somebody asked about, like, porting it to PS Now. The funny thing is, Sony did port Demon's Souls to PS Now, except Sony only has the rights to do that in Japan, so it's only on Japanese PS Now. Because Atlas, which is now owned by Sega and is full of its own can of worms, has the rights to Demon's Souls in America, and Bandai Namco has it in the European Union, and it's up to them to A, keep the servers running, and B, port it to PS Now. The actual problem with Demon's Souls on PS Now, and the reason why I haven't done it, is because it's 3,000 yen for 30 days, and that's about $36. I only paid 15 for my hard copy of Demon's Souls. I am not paying 30 for just 30 days. But yeah, Demon's Souls is on PS Now. It's just the legal surrounding it is like the Valley of Defilement. It's like ridiculous, and nobody wants to talk to anybody. Sega is really bad at talking to anyone now, and they own Atlas. And remember, as soon as Atlas got acquired, NIS America, which was with them for like ever, dropped immediately because they didn't want anything to do with Sega. And Bandai Namco is in the Europe. So, like, that's the real reason why Demon's Souls isn't on PS Now in America and Europe. It's silly. That said, I hear it works pretty well. Which is surprising, because it's a streaming service. It's Gaikai. Alright, so... Shark Boots are dead. Oh, I can use it. Like, barely, but yeah. If you guys want to see any movesets, let me know. I assume you guys have seen them all already. Alright, yeah, Demons, you can find Demon's Souls for like $20 or less. Even still. I got mine from like a GameStop actually last year for... Let me reach over and see how much this was. Oh, wait, yeah. $19. It shoots a lot. Actually, you joke, but the Evelyn has a completely different animation set. It's pretty baller, to be fair. You! Give me a nourishing gem. Yes, I don't have an eye rune on, but gimme. No? Well, you're a jerk. Alright, I'm gonna burn this chalice. And I'm going to pop a couple of other chalices to get a couple of things that I need. That I get on pretty much every build. FRC. 6 rack. Yeah, go ahead. It's always been time for that. Levels are done. I'm probably not going to level up anymore, but I am picking up some things. No. Here. Okay. I think this is either pre-boss or pre-layer. No. Cheapers. Oh, that's the deluxe edition. That's the one with the mini guide Atlas put out. Like, it's really thick or something. Yeah, you're actually really just paying for that guide. It's like a half-inch thick or something. It's a mini walkthrough Atlas put together. Yes, the big combos are the transform combos on everything. Let me just demonstrate. So, it's R1, R1, L1, R1, L1. I don't trust the LHB one, like, at all. I think it's too slow, and you can't poise through it. So they can, like, poke you right out of it. You can poise through the Moonlight Greatsword one. Black Phantom Edition's 190? Jeepers. Mine is just the bog standard, super ancient, before they even released the Greatest Hits version one. I got it for 20 bucks. I know the one with the game guide is the expensive one, but I've never seen that. Yeah, I just wanted to play it. So you know. Side note, if anybody is around 100, you have to do some math, but ballparking it, you need to be like 110, because that character's 120. I have pure blade stones, so if you need pure blade stones. Ugh. Do let me know. North America only, however, because of the different server regions. Yep. A friend gave it to me. And I figured yeah, one dude that drops it like 0.01% of the time. Is this the treasure room with it, or is it the other one? Yes. Alright, I'm out. Next stop. Yeah, it's like one dude drops it, it's 0.01%. I've heard horror stories of people like running that guy 1,000 times. And the drop rate is increased if you go pure black tendency, but it doesn't do it that much. I've heard horror stories, so like I figured I'd put it out there. If anybody needs one and they're around my level 120 character, I can drop you one. It would be no problem. It's very bad. It's probably the worst any of the modern Kingsfield likes have ever gotten with regards to drop rates, and I spent 2 weeks trying to get a Titanite slab out of a Dark Wraith before I said, I'll just go into New Game Plus and do it. Because I had to go into New Game Plus anyway. H3 up. 6Y2D. Yeah, like if you're in North America, I can drop you one. Zero issue whatsoever. What do I think happens then? I think probably nothing. Like really, or you've been reset to the Age of Grey. The thing about the Ashen Waste World is it seems like everything has kind of burnt itself away. Like there's nothing to burn. That maybe what happened. Oh, the painting Ashen World, like the new world. Maybe the cycle starts again because it is fueled by a world. So maybe, and this is just me like spitballing here. Maybe there is no such thing as like a real world anymore. Or there maybe never was. Maybe what happened was the Age of Grey was like a canvas, an empty canvas, primed maybe, and then fire was shown to whoever painted it. And you're linking the fire because you want to try and have it remain. And once the fire eats itself, which is pretty much what happened, there's nothing else but ash and it burns itself out. Yeah. Everything is dark until it isn't. Remember, a canvas is a perfectly neutral thing. There's no... Oh, come on, spiders. Ah, come on. Didn't want to get in front of this thing. Yeah, I think Frida's the third sister. I went into a half a thought, I'm sorry. But like, a canvas is a completely neutral thing, right? And only God creates light and God creates dark, which is very similar to like how many creation myths happen across, you know, the world and stuff like that. So a painter created light, like life and death and all of that. It created disparity by virtue of creating something and making it not neutral. Okay, got what I came here for. Yeah. The one in the middle is Uria. So, like, I'm only spitballing that. I'm not completely married to that interpretation, but maybe, just maybe, every painting is itself a world that we've been to, and, like, the painting that comprises 1, 2, and 3 finally burned itself out, and there's nothing but ash there. There's nothing else to burn. And you have to go to a new world, which is the next painting, the new age. It's very deist. It's also somewhat Vedic, because there's epochs, and there's epochs within epochs, but you have to get Kaliki, which is the harbinger of the eschatology and Vedic thinking, to like bring the souls to a new world, a new age. She probably is. And in a way, it really depends. Let me back up. What do you think Dragon is in Dark Souls? That's the big question of whether or not you think or you believe or not if she is a capital G god, a lowercase god, or a god with human traits, because she obviously has human traits. Her tail is hair, for crying out loud. She doesn't have a real tail in the way like the everlasting dragon had a tail. Her tail is her big long ponytail. That's why they call them ponytails. Dragon tails? Dragon tails. What can I buy for 150 grand? More paper. More ash? More ash. I think what's really striking too is that human ash is completely white, whereas like normal ash is kind of gray. Let me start switching these things around. That's the one actually worth it. Alright, next stop. Let me grab that rune. GZ 9 MMJ. 7Z. Yeah, I think if anything, it kind of confirms some of my suspicions about what Firelink Shrine is and the nature of Firelink Shrine. It is, for lack of a better term, a Purgatory-esque kind of place. And, like I reference Dante's Purgatorio when I, like, initially wrote that essay. It is, essentially, people know... Oh, I forgot all about these guys. So this is a kind of a unique enemy type. It is the Witch of Hemwick boss as a normal enemy. And she likes spawning in her people. Let me get up here first. Because they're dumb and they don't climb. I don't think they climb. Oh, they do climb. Okay. There's gonna be more, but who cares? We'll get to it. So, yeah. Back to what I was thinking about Purgatorio. Purgatorio, while people understand the Divine Comedy and stuff, Purgatorio is the lesser known of the two. And essentially, Purgatory is an island. It's kind of isolated, and it's like a mountain in the middle. And as you climb the mountain, you get closer to heaven. I found initially that that's very similar to how the Cemetery of Ash and Firelink Shrine are kind of set up. You start from the bottom, and it's isolated. It's an island unto itself. You start from the bottom, and you end up going all the way to basically the top, to the top of the bell tower, which is, something that kind of struck me as kind of interesting. An interesting spin on, anyway. So I think the Ring City somewhat confirms what I initially suspected. Oops. Well, I completely messed that roll up. Oh, I was supposed to go to the bottom anyway. Whoop. And I've also been... I think Tangerine knows what I'm going to get out here, because I think Tangerine's been here pretty much a lot. And I don't think the main game takes place in the real world at all. But I don't think that matters too much, because, what's real is what's in front of you. Be that as it may, I kind of think that let me just make my jukes. Make the jukes happen. Because I don't want to fight a Witch of Hemwick. Alright, claw mark's done. Let's go! Rude! So rude. So very rude. Let me peace out and then I'll try and finish my thought. Or I'll just die. One or the other. So rude. Everybody's so rude in this dungeon. Alright. But yeah, like, the powers of a Lord of Cinder are very nebulous and kind of undefined and kind of as much as the plot needs them to in a lot of ways. But I think each Lord of Cinder has created their own bubble of maybe their perfect world. But because there's like 4 of them and they're all kind of interconnected in a way, that they're in conflict. But it is the world as they perceive it, which accounts for maybe the weirdness in like spacing each Lord of Cinder and the weirdness in some of the item descriptions that suggest that the Princes Lothric and Lorien went far away to watch the flame fade. It's far away in their perception. Their High Wall of Lothric is their bubble, it's their fiefdom, and it's kind of shifting because the kiln is dragging them right back in. Especially the Princes Lothric and Lorien as people who last had the Mandate of Embers is what I've been calling it, because when you inherit the fire, it's which comes from an old like translation error from Dark Souls 1. It's like when you link the fire, you inherit the fire. TLDR. So, like, they inherited the fire, and so they gained the Mandate of Embers, which works very similarly to the Mandate of Heaven, which fits in nicely with the once you inherit the fire, the world becomes flush with souls, and everything is fine again for a short time until the Mandate of Embers just dies. But yeah, each Lord of Cinder has their own ability to like bring up their own bubbles. And so you're not in the quote unquote real world until you drop the illusion that Gwendolyn set up for Filianor. The world has been dead for a long time. It's been dead for as long as Gwyn has been dead. It's just we've never seen it. That's a thought and an interpretation I've been kind of working on. Love to know what you guys think about that, but let me just load up the next dungeon. PMIQQ. B. No, I don't. Yeah, let's go. Yes. The person who's claimed the, quote, Mandate of Embers influences the world. But just like the Mandate of Heaven, the Heavens has its own will. And as long as the person who's claimed the Mandate works alongside the will of Flame, then you're fine. But in pretty much all occasions, we see that the Mandate of Fire just drops from whoever held it last because of a sin that they've had. For Princes Lothric and Lorien, we just work backwards. I argue that because they lacked filial piety, the mandate dropped from them. Like, the problem of Lothric is that he was too pragmatic. And in his pragmatism, he saw how insane his father got and sought to kill him, which results in even more of Osiris's insanity. And down to the point where Osiris had to wear the dragon scale ring to prevent backstabs. So, like, once Lothric, and then Lothric and Lorien in their pragmatism went and pretty much imprisoned Gertrude, because whether or not they believed in that she was being heretical or not didn't really matter. What did matter was that Gertrude was proving to be a problem for their hegemony. And so they imprisoned their own sister. Which also proved their lack of filial piety. They only cared about each other, which is their biggest sin. Oh, come on. I got her fair and square, you jerks. Let's see here. Vendrick lost the Mandate of Embers as soon as he doubted himself, which is a very Buddhist thing. And it immediately died. And then, let me see here. Gwyn lost it as soon as he became fearful of, like, humans. Pretty simply. And, like, that's really broad strokes. I go into it more in depth. You've got my souls, but you're a jerk. Oh, really? That far? Really? Thought I was clear from that. I'm just gonna have to run it, because it's through there, what I need. Hopefully that'll make sense, because I'm like half paying attention to the game and half paying attention to what I'm thinking of. And there's more to it. Like, okay, with in each case, as soon as the Mandate of Embers drops from an individual, that's when stuff starts hitting the fan, and especially for Lothric, the pus of man began spreading. And for me, I think the pus of man is actually very simple. The pus of man is not just a disease spread by the will of fire to exert its to show how displeased it is, but it is also simply humanity, the flame of humanity, running rampant, because the dark sign, which is something that we learned in the Ring City, sealed in that flame of humanity, is breaking free, and it's just like a flame does, devouring everything it can see. I always feel like I make more sense when I write it down and then edit the crap out of it, so let me know if you need any more clarification. This is a cool room that barely has any uses. I thought there was a little treasure thing in here. Eh, well, whatever. Yes. I believe the first flame has its own will. Much like the heavens. One thing I did read about a little bit earlier on is that in Western religions in general tend to not to give the heavens will of its own. Whereas Eastern religions will give, like, the heavens has its own will or something like that. So if you attribute that the flame has its own will, then what does the flame want? Besides devouring everything it can handle, because the flame is greedy like that. For some reason I thought this rune was a lot closer than it seems to be. Side note, that hulking thing on its legs is probably the most dangerous thing in here. Oh, it's freaking over there. No! Run away! You can't see me anymore. Hopefully that, like, makes sense. But yeah, in general, in Eastern religions, the heavens has its own will. Get out of here. Why do you carry a shaman bone blade? And the Max Canyon room. One more, and I think I'm going to open up Hintertombs and just do that. Formless Odin is wikifcsa. Oh, I must have typed that in wrong. There we go. So what do you guys think of that? And hello everybody who's about. It's nice to see everybody. So that means that maybe we should talk about the flame as its own character in a lot of ways. The heck was that sound? Oh, that sounds like a Witch of Hemwick. Yeah, it's a Witch of Hemwick. Hey, Cursed Triangle. I'm gonna have to see if that's any good. This is probably super dangerous because I know there's the Witch of Hemwick around here. I'm gonna see if the numbers make that worth it. It's probably not this way. Yeah, it's definitely not this way. YOLO! Not that way. Witch of Hemwicks can eat it. You only live as much as you can stand, really. Alright, should be on this layer. I completely forgot which way it is. It's probably this way. But yeah, like I adore what Dark Souls 3, like on the whole, story-wise, did for the entire series. But I really love, like, stories more about eschatology. And that's kind of what I saw with the Ring City. It's an eschatological story. Why is there a Witch of Hemwick in here too? Come on. No! Hello? Sorry to have bothered you. Actually, the Witches of Hemwick aren't that bad, but if you're going to kill them, you have to kill them pretty immediately, because their helpers are actually the dangerous bit. And Max Formless Udin. Alright, those are the runes I usually kind of carry around once I get my FRCs together. No, it doesn't work the same way. They just, once they see you and are aggro to you, they'll just start popping their nightmare guys. And if you're there long enough, they'll have like a crap load of them. But they don't work the same way they do in the main game. So, like, if you know that they're there and you decide to kill them, you're going to have to run and kill them. They're pretty much pushovers, but if you let them sit around there and creating their nightmare helper dudes, then they're a bit of a pain. Well, B team does stand for better team. I'm just saying. Just, append a kappa right next to that statement. Actually, you know what? True facts, I do want to see a game, like, directed top-down by Tanemura, and I'm pretty sure he's got, like, an Armored Core under his belt by himself, but I want to see what he does with his own, with his own thing. You know what I mean? I want to see what Tanemura comes up with. Like, given carte blanche. Tabula rasa. Here, do whatever you want. I want to see what that looks like. I have all these, don't I? Yeah. I don't need any of this, I don't think. Let me open up Hintertomb because I want to get that bit of fashion, and there is a kind of a unique boss in here. Just to show it off. Hintertomb's pretty easy, especially now. It's almost completely optional, which is weird. Like, and there was a great, and for real facts, like, Extra Credits has an amazing little video, and I posted it in the Discord a little while ago, about the auteur myth, and there is something to say about, like, having one particular guy's name attached to something, because it denotes their vision and what you can expect, but a game isn't the work of, like, one guy. Even Sultan Sanctuary had 3. So, just real quick, Hintertomb is like the poison chalice. Thankfully, it's completely optional. It's basically the Valley of Defilement, the chalice. To this day, the Watchers continue to expand the Hintertomb's unceremonious catacombs filled with graves and death. It's even when you are here when they expect you to be here, it's not like the best chalice. It's not a great chalice. Like, I expect they created it, and instead of just cutting it because it was done, they just made it optional. It should be, when you do it, you should be in a new game, and you should probably do it when you do the other Depths 2 chalices, which is like Central Pthumeru. So, like, you should be doing it concurrently to that, but, like, there's no point, because it's, like I said, completely optional. And you get enough rituals, materials in the other chalices to continue going. Those explosive things if you're not careful. There's a Witch of Hemwick. So, you know, on a lore note, an interesting lore note actually, the fact that Witches of Hemwick are in the Chalice Dungeons makes me believe that the Witch of Hemwick is not native to Hemwick, you know what I mean? Like, she might have escaped, much like Bloodstarved Beast, and was able to put Hemwick under her spell, so to speak. Because she's all over FRC Dungeons. And, she's in Hintertombs, obviously. Yeah. I'm pretty much only in here for the fashion that you get off of the second layer boss, and I just completely turned around. The Madman set's pretty good. Alright, back down. Yeah, there's even a sign when you walk into Hemwick, saying, hey, this is Hemwick. Shut up. And like, once you beat Yarnum, you should be able to buy all the ritual materials with Insight. I actually haven't checked because I hear a frenzied ghost. Yeah, there she is. Go away, frenzy ghost. You're not nice. Oh, fine. Give me back my bullets, you fiend. What is down here? Yeah, like, I definitely just think that, like, your character saw a name, and they're like, okay, they're witchy. So, Witch of Hemwick, I guess. No survivors. Look at this boss. Really? Look at this boss. Take a sedative. Get wrecked. So the question remains, is he an enemy that got turned into a boss, or a boss that got turned into an enemy? You decide. Being exposed to the crazy gives you insight, I guess, so. Thank you. I thought I could avoid his initial charge at the beginning, but he still made that turn and was like, man, still gonna run you over. Where are you? Where? You down here? Ha! Sort of like Adeline when she gets Probably Rom. Mostly because there is a point where I get sick of fighting Rom. Also, it is kind of interesting that it's the Madmen who are here in Hintertomb to guard things, when in the mandatory line they guard stuff in Loran, right? They're Loran guards, because Brainsuckers are Isk guards, and Pthumeru is more or less a watcher. I do want to figure out how to... I guess figure out is the wrong adjective, though, the wrong verb. I want to get an Elgato and stream at least Demon Souls. Maybe Echo Knight. First time going through here, I was so afraid that this thing would break in the middle. I hear a frenzy ghost. Ma'am, are you coming? Or... No? Yes? Maybe? Huh. Oh, right. It's after the first Tuesday in... Which means new PSN games. For free. I have to go pick up the Vita games, because the Vita games actually look pretty good. What? Did you just fall off the ladder? Did you just fall off the ladder? That is silly. I can't wait for E3 though. E3 is always a fun time. Did you get poisoned by your own... hoisted by your own petard? I'm just gonna stand here and look at you while you get poisoned. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well... None of those items are very useful. But you do get to fight a boss again, and it is the Undead Giant. They're also colored a bit like Latria, because Latria's swamp had the same sort of dark berry color going on, like blackened berry, like a blackened raspberry color. It's the very same sort of like coloring in Latria. I do love Latria. Latria is where Demon Souls shines the most. IMO. Okay. And Bulletaria is great, and I do like Bulletaria a lot, but I think Latria, it's just atmosphere, it's just amazing. Latria. Fun times in Latria. Even when I was abusing the autosave to get me the right gem to drop off of the last crystal lizard. Also, that still works. To explain, because if you don't know what the XBM trick is, Demon Souls only autosaves when you hit OK that you've gotten something. So if you quit out of the game before doing that, then it didn't save it. So you would just quit out of the game and reload and kill the crystal lizard again and get the pure moonstone. Dance 1,000 paper cuts over here. And yeah, that's something I'm really glad that they fixed for Dark 1. Stupid crystal lizards. Now, not the fact that the crystal lizards are absolute jerks, and that they will almost all universally fling themselves off of a cliff in Demon Souls, but the fact that they are limited spawns, like they only spawn like 5 times before you're out of luck. Sometimes even only 1 time. And some of them have, like, 1 crystal lizard is the source of a pure moonstone, and if you miss him, you are out of luck completely. Which is why things like the XBM trick like, exist. It's funny that everybody knows about the dupe trick in Demon Souls, but they forget about the XBM trick. Which is almost as bad. Alright, so let's see here. Okay. I'm completely overleveled. I'm just going through there to show off bosses. And to chat. Thank you. Like, I do allow for the fact that, you know, I'm super overleveled for this chalice. Only doing it to have something to kill, really. Thank you. It's a door or somewhere. Where are you guys coming from? Is there another one up here? Yes. Still want to cosplay as one of these bellringers. I figured that would be a fun time. I think only after, like, living in the Chalices for so long, because I like co-oping. When I have nothing else to do, I'll just co-op it. And a lot of people... I should see if there's any more people, like, looking for help in the Chalice Dungeons. But yeah, I like co-oping after a fact, and then, like, you get a sort of muscle memory for all of the Lego blocks they use for the Chalice Dungeons. poison, which they use nowhere except Hintertomb. What's this over here? Ooh, bone ash. Okay, so it should be this way. And then up. Oh, maybe not. But I do have to come this way. Would you take a sedative? Take a sedative. That should be my my catchphrase. This is a really interesting opening, and it's not one that you see a whole lot. Sir, why are you dead? I should use my bullets more often, I guess. See what's up here. Okay, here's a question for chat. What is the nature of Moonlight? It doesn't have to be like a unified theory or anything, because it would probably be really difficult to try and unify Armored Core, Bloodborne souls and Demon souls together, because or even Kingsfield, because HMGS ran on a engine called Moonlight Blade, and it was in there too. Like, the Kingsfield engine was called the Holy Moonlight Blade. But, like, you can even specify what it is in Souls and what it is in Bloodborne. I think they're probably similar both ways. And I think that's actually Moonlight in and of itself, these lanterns. Bloodstar beams. Ah, come on. Eat it, BSB. Yeah, you don't want to stand in here. This is all poison. Some form of falsehood? What do you mean by that? Can you like expand on it? Or is it just kind of... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. Illusions. Ephemeral things. Probably bring in the card, the tarot card for the moon in there too. Don't run. You'll only die tired. Yeah, that makes some sense too. Thank you. Selenek Dave. I think I can't take credit for that. I think a friend of mine started saying it. And then I just picked it up. I forget I can't like just roll this chalice over like I did the last one. Because this is different. So, Tangerine, would you suggest that like sunlight is the truth? Nothing. Not a. Oh! Aldrich! I'll do you one better on that thought, Tangerine. The sun hasn't existed since Gwendolyn died. I mean, not Gwendolyn, since Gwyn died. The sun isn't even really in the sky in Dark 2, and then, like, in Dark 3, it's conspicuously absent except for Archdragon Peak, where it is conspicuously not absent. Me not paying attention has gotten me all turned around. Should be not that way. Okay, it's over there. Like, I don't think there's even, like, an object sun in the sky. Like, it suggests that there's light in the sky, but there's, like, no real... no real sun. Like, it's the Archdragon Peak sun is, like, the only actual sun in the game. Like, you know where it is, it's right there. But it always seems kind of not there in the rest of DS3. Like, I think the game designers assume that you'll think it's there because there's a lot of, like, optical illusion trickery going on to make you think there's one there, but it's not really there. think it's pretty... Oof, I'm dead. Maybe not. I am gonna have to refill on vials before the boss, though. I think that's what makes the appearance of the dark sign sun a bit more surprising, because like you kind of assume that there's a sun there after a while, and then it's like suddenly changed. But I think the sun was never there at all. And that the only thing giving light to the world after Gwyn dies is the dark sign that's just collapsing anyway. Yes. In my interpretation, it's floating in the abyss. And it makes it the most honest place in DS3, and that is also why it is considered a state secret of Lothric. Because it shows just how much they have lost the mandate of Embers. Hello, guys. Pebbles. Like, that's why Lothric, the kingdom of, not just the princes, strive so very hard to keep the untended graves as secret and protected as possible. No, I do not. I run on the notion that unless it's explicitly said that characters are their own characters until proven otherwise. And for me, the Queen of Lothric is her own character. It was never completely proven otherwise. The rest of Dark Souls 3 likes showing how the more things change, the more they stay the same, kind of thing. For instance, the legend of Artorias has changed, but what happens to people who follow the legend of Artorias stays the same. So, the Queen of Lothric, for as much of a character she is, which she's not really, she shows that the more things change, the more they stay the same, kind of thing. To me, the Queen of Lothric is more interested in what she says about Lorien and Lothric rather than of herself. She's unfortunately a prop, in my opinion. like things keep repeating, history keeps repeating, but the actors become different, and that happens a bunch of times in Dark Souls 3. So like that's the theme I think they're playing with, rather than actually trying to link one character to another. Doggo, please. Dog knives, gem, pebbles, weeks of unseen, remember trap. Must be a foot trap. Oh, frenzy ghost. Yay, vials. Sorry if I seem to be like just ripping through these Chalice Dungeons. Down. Any other door? Let's see what's behind door number 1. Why did I fall off the thing? Thrust damage sucks against kin, doesn't it? Next. Thanks. This is the layer I wanted to get to. The unique boss for the Hintertombs is through there. Well, unique-ish. What are you doing? Who's that? You? Where'd you come out of from? Jeeps. Don't you have, like, a village of Hemwick to corrupt or something? Well, I'm in the right place, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe it's this way. Yeah, the witch just wants to be friends. Okay. Why were there messenger lamps there then? Yeah, the Hemwick witch was like, and everybody was like, what is she tying? I don't know, just go with it. I was late. Sage's Wrist. Great. A++. Let's roll, guys. It's a giant, but he doesn't have the treasure. Okay, so this way. Sweet Child of Kos. It's from the line that the guy says at the end. I'm not good at creating titles. On YouTube, it gets changed to like the stream 1 to 18 or whatever. Sweet Child of Kos came from the ocean, bottomless curse, the bottomless sea. So I kind of took that line and I made it a title. Yes. Depth 3? We're depth 3 now? When I'm in the Chalice Dungeons, I'm kind of in autopilot, and like, since I'm over leveled for these, I'm on serious autopilot right now. So. Where's Pickle Pea? Pump-a-rum? No, guess not. I just wanted to get the Madman set, you guys. For realies. I think the verse, like the whole verses from the DLC are ridiculously good. I'm not great at my verse, but it feels like they wanted to write like a sestina or something. So this guy is actually kind of dangerous. He's got arcane, he's scaled that way. Of course, I'm super over-leveled. His friend should be showing up now. There he is. His friend has a Kirk hammer. And it's my opinion that one of these guys is Madman Willar. I'm just gonna dodge him for a little bit. It's a good combo. They're both really aggressive. And if you don't know the second one shows up, then, yeah. Oh yeah, I do remember that! Because he's using the Holy Blade. You ran into that one, you idiot. The poke slays everything. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when people were like, this guy is Ludwig because he's got the Holy Blade and stuff. It's time for a costume change, you guys. The problem with Kirkhammer is in all of this, I don't know if this is in Kingsfield or anything like that, in all of the Souls series and Bloodborne, going at least as far back as Demon Souls, there's a direct hit system that they don't tell you about. And if you do a direct hit at the sweet spot of the weapon, you will do more damage than if you like just do a glancing blow and stuff like that. But like where the sweet spot is for a Kirkhammer is very, very small. So Madman garb. I shall try it on. So it looks like he's carrying around a phantasm. At least like a phantasm skin? Because it kind of looks like an augur thing. And if you let him, he will pop out Augur of Ebriatus because he's an arcane build. And yeah, so the snake thing looks like a phantasm that he found in the Chalice Dungeons. Oh, yes. Frenzy Town. It has terrible frenzy resistance. Actually, what is my frenzy resistance with this? 53. Let's read the thing, because it's kind of interesting. I think the only armor set I'm missing is the Grave Guard, but I think it's ugly, so whatever. Where did I... Okay. Most tomb prospectors, members of the Healing Church, chosen to explore the old labyrinth, are unable to withstand the weight of the old knowledge and go mad. So, This was a healing church hunter. The appendages draped across them are said to be a kind of protective charm, or at least that is what these lost souls believe with all their hearts. And IMO, the snake thing, is definitely a phantasm skin, at least. Because it does look like, it looks like an auger. Hold on. It looks like that, except bigger. You can even see like the antenna, like kind of over here. Oh, thanks for the follow. My monitor was off, so I didn't see the name. But give me just a second. Silenic Dave, thanks for the follow. Yeah, give me a second. I've got a lot of it. Doesn't matter. Yes, it does go by down by 1. Says I'm now 52. So I imagine if you are full of insight, it is just gonna say no, man. No. So, yeah. You're just gonna be like, no. So, church hunters also went into the labyrinth along with why is it so far down? Okay. These are also healing church guys, tomb prospectors. And it traces its roots to Bergenworth, but these are church hunters. And any other thing goes back to this doesn't really count. It's interesting that you get to like buy this armor. But yeah, so like you have 2 church hunters. So tomb prospectors eventually turn into this guy. You can see it's blackened with dirt and stuff, and the fluttering thing is gone. And it's like he tried to hang himself, but it didn't work. It's kind of dark that there's a noose right there. So yeah, I think it's really interesting that you get to carry around a phantasm. It's neat. Well, let's polish off Hintertombs and call it a night. Next stream, I'm probably just gonna kill Gehrman and Moon Presence and wrap it up, maybe. And then decide what I'm going to stream next. Maybe a DS3 community run? It's up to you guys. My phantasm will protect me. And this does have some in common with the Graveguard set. But then again, how many ways can you make a hood? Hitboxes. Sit down. So, here's an interesting thing. Because Holy Moonlight Blade is, you know, something about guidance, and you can assume that maybe Ludwig had the guidance rune. And you can also assume, because I think it says so. Do you guys think that he picked this up in the Chalice Dungeons, or did it come to him sort of like Adeline, but didn't like drive him completely insane? What do you guys think? Oh, was that the outlets? The outlet mall? That was mean. That was mean, sir. That hurt a lot. Oh boy. It's a big room. Ow. If you're interested in learning more about like that direct hit system, I think a German spy spoke about it during his Demon Souls playthrough like a few years ago. He might have spoken about it during his Bloodborne thing. Take your poison. That's a party. So back over here and up the ladder. Stop at the outlet mall. Thank you guys. Poison spiders, do whatever spider poison spiders. I have to workshop that song. So it should be this side. This is where I got smacked with the cannon. Tap, 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 tap. Fall damage in Bloodborne is so good. In that it almost doesn't exist. There's an undead giant. probably have to go the other way. My dog is gonna want a walk soon. Leave me alone. Don't care about undead giants. Go this way first. Yeah, that's the other side. You, sir, are very, very rude. That was rude. So was that. Okay, Pthumerian Elder. Oof, that was early. Why don't we have this weapon? Oof. Alright, let me just heal. Why? I like that weapon. And that's the Hintertombs. You kind of tell they wanted to go a little bit further, but they didn't really. And so, like, it's more bones and bodies than it is ground over here. No, I don't want to take a step forward. Okay, so, like, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Anything, any other questions, or anything they want to see, or, like, any movesets you want to see? Anything at all before I sign off for the night? And just like the claymore, I love how you don't actually rest the sword against your shoulder. It's just like, I'm just gonna carry it like this. Okay, well, next stream will be Gehrman and Moon Presence and just wrapping up and stuff. All the loose ends that I'm bothering to do are pretty much done. So we'll go see if Gehrman's finished mowing the lawn next stream, which is actually a very nice, one of the better tableaus for final bosses in games. Reminds me of Metal Gear Solid, which is the one you fight Big Boss? I forget. But there's a Metal Gear Solid one that reminds me of that too. In any case, next stream is going to be Gehrman after that. So, as always, thank you for coming out, hanging out, chatting. Next time. Have a good night, everybody.